Alright, Shalom. This is Kanaksan from the GMS Lions in Camp. First and foremost, I'd like to say Kal Halayim, by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the argument that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Alright, coming with a spiritual hydration, talking about the stage and the platform that's being set to discover who the elect of the children of Israel, the elect of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai are. Alright, because what he does, anytime we come into wherever we're going to be settled at, he leaves wickedness in the midst of us to try us to see who's that are of him and that are not. Alright, because so the ones that are set up to be the elect are going to eschew away from the abominations that are being said in the midst of Israel. Alright, so Israel's it's not a land, it was a people before it's a place. Alright, so let me get it. Ezekiel chapter 9. Verse 4, I think it is. It says, this is Ezekiel 9 and 4, it says, "And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." Alright, so Israel, Jerusalem have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and it was a people for a place. Alright, so the thing is, alright, the Most High set up a standard according to His word to measure the children of Israel, and that's how you're going to know who the elect of the children of Israel are, in the midst of all this wickedness. Alright, let me get Revelations. Alright, this is Revelations 11 and 1. It says, "And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Arise, and measure the temple of Yahweh, the altar, and them that worship therein." So he's measuring the children of Israel according to the standards of this book. That reed, that rod, really is Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai is a walk in the living word. Alright, we become like unto Yahweh Shai when we come into this truth, the sincerity and truth. Alright? Because throughout the earth, you have a lot of wooden and earthen vessels and a lot of dust. But it's a sifting process going in the midst of all this wickedness to find out where the gold is in the midst of all those things. Alright? Let me get 2nd Ezra chapter 8 verse 2. It says, alright, "I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of the present world." So in the midst of this sifting process, man, the Most High is going to destroy this place, man. Alright, and the only ones that are going to come through are His elect. Alright, but He leaves wickedness in the midst of us, in the midst of us, to determine who's going to be the righteous, alright, and who's going to be the wicked that are being enticed by the wickedness that they see on a day-to-day level. Alright, and I'm going to close it out with Proverbs chapter 12 verse 26. It says, "The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them." Alright, so they're going to be seduced. The 2/3 are going to be seduced by the wickedness that they see on a daily basis. But the elect of Israel, the elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, alright, are going to eschew away the evil, right, and withstand the trials and be refined as gold is refined. Thus saith the scripture. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and get that and end it with that. Sirach chapter 2. It says, in Sirach chapter 2 verse 1, it says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." Alright? "Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble." And that's just it, because we understand the scriptures. When troublesome times come forth to us, we don't get to move around and getting all frantic. Now let's fast forward that to the future. Alright? When troublesome times come, because the troublesome times are already here, it's just we haven't seen the effects of it. Because the American economy has totally fallen. They've done away with the dollar. Now they're introducing cryptocurrencies. Right? You have the Fed coin, you have the Bitcoin, you have the ruble and the yuan, which are also can be backed by cryptocurrencies, and those have substance to back them up, like gold and oil. All right. So what happens in the troublous times, like when they push the RFID chip? All right. The people that don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding are going to move in haste to get that chip, and that chip is going to be setting them up for their destruction. All right. It says, "Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at that last end." The last end of what? All right, we're going to be increased, right? Because we were brought low, so the so-called white man, which is the devil, can be exalted. All right, our last end of our last captivity. All right, this is our last end and beginning of what's about to come, which is salvation. It says, "Whatsoever that is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate." And that's where we're patiently, because he's a God of long suffering, we're in our lowest state now. And we're being patient, waiting to be risen up by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, I'm going to close out with this. It says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." All right, in that furnace of adversity, the adversary is Esau. All right, you know what I'm saying? Which does the works of the Satan. That's what Satan means, the adversary. All right, so we're in the midst of all this wickedness. All right, Esau was set up to lay sore strokes on the children of Israel, right, to refine those that are going to be refined by the furnace of adversity. With that being said, I want to say, Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Harukakadash Ma'amak. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Archim that are pushing the truth, the sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Shalom.